What causes inflation? Now, there are the cause of inflation can be categorized into two main categories. The first is demand pull inflation. The second is cost push inflation. Now, what is this? What is the idea behind this demand pull inflation and cost push inflation? Now, to understand the idea of demand pull inflation and cost push inflation, we need to understand certain basic principles of microeconomics that has got to deal with demand and supply. Now, most of you might be aware of this simple demand and supply graph where we are plotting where the green curve is the demand curve. So, by the way, on the y-axis we have price on the y-axis, and on the x-axis we have quantity. So we have quantity on the x-axis. Now, the green curve here is the demand curve. So as the quantity increases, as the price increases, the quantity decreases. So we have the demand curve here, and as the price decreases, the quantity increases. And the white one is the supply curve. As the price increases, the quantity increases, or as the quantity increases, the price increases. So we have a demand curve and a supply curve, and this point here is the equilibrium point, which is the price. So this is the equilibrium price for a certain goods and services, or for any particular goods and services, or the aggregate goods and services in an economy. Now, to focus, so let us first focus on demand pull inflation. Now, what happens if, let's say, for some reason, the demand for the goods and services, and for a particular goods and services, or let's say the demand for the aggregate goods and services in the economy increases. So there's a greater demand. When that happens, then the demand curve shifts upward. So we see this upward shift in the demand curve. Now, when the demand curve shifts upwards, we say that there was a demand pull inflation, because let's note where the prices are. The prices here have increased. So we have the prices now, which has gone up from this point here to this point here. So the increase in the prices happened because the aggregate demand, or let's say the demand for one particular commodity, increased. So the price is increasing because of such a shift in the demand curve is called the demand pull inflation. Similarly, we have the cost push inflation, where for some reason the supply curve shifts upwards. So if the supply curve shifts upwards, then we will see the prices increasing from this low point here to this high point here. This increase in prices is coming about because there was a reduction in the supply, or there's something that caused the supply curve to shift upwards. What could cause the supply curve to shift upwards? Well, there could be many reasons. So on an aggregate level, for an economy like India, a bad monsoon could be something which shifts the supply curve upwards. Why? Because a bad monsoon could lead to lower production of agricultural produce, and because of the lower production of agricultural produce, there could be lower supply, which could shift the supply curve upwards. So anything which shifts the supply curve upwards, causing the prices to go up, such an inflation is called a cost push inflation. Okay, so essentially inflation is caused either by an increase in demand or by a decrease in supply. So this is the two main reasons why you could have inflation. Now, what causes this increase in demand or the decrease in supply? What is the role of money in this increase in demand or the decrease in supply? Because money, or the role money supply, has a very, very crucial link with inflation. So we need to understand that as well, and I'll be exploring into the role of money or money supply and inflation in later videos. But broadly, again, to review what we did, what I explained here, the inflation is essentially caused by can either be caused by an increase in demand or by a decrease in supply. So that's the increase in demand is the demand pull inflation, and the decrease in supply is called a cost push inflation.